Okay, let's take Sheikhul Islam. Sheikhul Islam, Sheikh, what would you like to say?
Uh, you got choice. You want to talk about a beautiful hadith or Margaret Boak's interview? Which one you want? One of those two.
No, we'll do Margaret ones next week, and we'll do that. And we'll do in English together. But let's share the beautiful hadith. What
Okay.
hadith have you got?
Okay. Let me give you a little background. When Muhammad got the revelation that he can marry any Muslim woman who presents herself
Oh
in
yeah.
marriage with Muhammad, provided Muhammad desires her. So, she
Yeah.
has to be hot. I mean,
His consent. No, but his consent matters too. Like she's hot, and then she said, "Oh, Muhammad, please take me." No, but Muhammad has to accept as well, because you know why he said that? Because there was a woman called Sauda, either his second or third wife. There's a disagreement in that. This is how she's been described. It's been described as she was a big, large African lady who wasn't very, sexy, so to speak. This is not me saying, Muhammad saying it in Ibn Hisham, or actually the biographer saying that. So she but then after that, Aisha came of age, and Muhammad started spending a lot of time with her. And Muhammad became very brazen. I think in my book I worked out something like he married at 4.2 women per year after Khadija's death. So he or slept with. So he started spending more time with Aisha at that time, and Sauda, the poor Sauda, the large African lady, felt a bit neglected. So Sauda said, "Please don't divorce me, my lord. You can just don't divorce me. You can spend my night with Aisha as well." So that's where Muhammad probably realized that, I gotta be sexually attracted to the woman as well. So I think that's where the part in the verse came in. Provided Muhammad desires her as well. So if a woman just comes and says, "Take me," Muhammad doesn't have to take you.
yeah, you're right on. And this particular hadith will find out exactly what happens when a woman comes to the Prophet and presents herself with marriage. Okay.
Okay. What's the
I will give me a second. I'll give you the hadith number in a second.
Orlando is saying she came of age, 9-year-old age is of age. Yes, that was the age. That was the age, the come of age for Muhammad. Back in those days, as they say, back in those days it was normal. The King of England married a 13-year-old. By the way, 9 and 13 big difference, but even that. Okay, so that's the one. A woman came to Allah's apostle and said, I've heard this. That's a good one. "Oh, Allah's apostle, I have come to you to present myself to you for marriage." Allah's apostle glanced at her. He had a look. He's like, "Okay, let's have a look. What does she look like? Is she hot enough or not?" Basically, he checked her out. Okay. So Allah's apostle glanced at her. He looked at her carefully and fixed his glance on her, and then lowered his head. What do you mean fixed his glance on her, like in a certain body part or something? like a breast or something? But anyway, when the lady saw that, he did not say anything. She sat down. Poor woman, probably thinking, "Oh, maybe I'm not sexy enough for the apostle." A man from his companions got up and said, "Oh, Allah's apostle, if you are not in need of her, then marry her to me." "Oh, Rasul, oh, Prophet Allah, if you don't like those shoes, let me have them. Let me wear them." That's how these guys talk about women. Okay, but anyway, the Prophet said, have you got anything to offer?" The man said, "No, by Allah's Prophet." The Prophet said to him, "Go to your family and try to find something." Because in Islamic culture you have to buy a woman. So in that sense, you have to give her something. The dowry is reversed. A man has to give dowry. So he's basically purchased her. So the man went and returned saying, "No, by Allah, I'm so poor. I got nothing. The Prophet said, "Go again and look for something. Come on. Surely you can find something, even if it were an iron ring." Okay, Lord of the Rings kind of iron ring. Okay. He went, "Okay, all right." He went and returned saying, "No, I don't even have anything. I don't even have an iron ring. I got nothing. Bro, I got nothing. Just give it to me. I could not find even an iron ring, but this is my waist sheet. So, piece of cloth." He had no rida, no upper garment. So he had just waist below. So, he could just protect his private, the interesting parts of the body. He added, "I give half of it to her." Jeez. Allah's apostle said, "What will she do with your izar? If you wear it, she will have nothing over herself thereof, will be naked." And if she wears it, then you will have nothing. So you will be naked. When Allah's apostle saw him leaving, he ordered that he called back. When he came, the Prophet said, "How much of the Quran do you know by heart?" The man replied, "I know such and such surah and such surah," naming the surahs. The Prophet said, "Can you recite it by heart?" He said, "Yes." The Prophet said, "Go. I let you marry her for her what you know of the Quran as a man." So maybe that's why the marrying the Quran came from. Like some people marry the Quran. What do you reckon, Sheikh?
No, no, I don't think it comes from marry the Quran. But imagine you're a woman
Yeah.
who wants to marry Muhammad, so on a judgment day you can be raised among the wives of the Prophet. So you want to
Yeah,
fast track your way to heaven.
yeah,
Now you're listening to what is going on.
yeah. Look, I mean, but I guess Muslims will say. I guess Muslims will say that she didn't. She doesn't have to marry. Fair enough. Muhammad has a right to reject her, and she could have gone back. But I mean, I mean, sure, fair enough. I mean, people were poor, and he really had nothing. I mean, surely he could have found a bowl or something, or a dish or something. He was eating something, a plate or something, or a glass or a cup. He drank water. No, he could have found something. He's like, no, this is the waist sheet that I've got. So like a dhoti, he's got that, and he said that's all I've got. And then Muhammad married him for the fact that he had memorized certain verses of the Quran. So, like if I remember if I was in Muhammad's time, I would have said, "Yeah, Muhammad, I know this surah, Qul huwallahu ahad, Allahu samad," and Muhammad would have said, "Yeah, you can have it." But I'm guessing she probably wasn't very attractive, because otherwise Muhammad would have been like, here's my bed chambers.
So, so there you go. That's a funny hadith. And just before I go, I was kind of surprised when I noticed that there are quite a few people in Pakistan, Bangladesh, are vegetarians.
Yeah.
And it happens when people buy these animals and for the sacrifice, and then they bring them home. Kids got attached to the animal. Then they find out they are gone as a dinner, and they turn vegetarians.
Yeah. It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
all right.
thank you.
I'll let you go.
Thank you. All right. That was Sheikhul Islam. To help me produce more videos like these, support me on Patreon or PayPal.